Popular US TV host Sean Hannity unleashed a scathing attack on Prince Harry for bashing the US while he lives there after the Duke of Sussex's recent speech at the United Nations drew widespread controversy. Prince Harry used a speech at the United Nations this week to bash the US, prompting widespread backlash from American conservatives. In an interview with Piers Morgan, popular Fox News host Sean Hannity said he was sick and tired of Harry and his wife Meghan Markle lecturing Americans. The primetime host said, "One of America's newest residents, Prince Harry, is once again bashing the USA, using a recent speech at the United Nations to say this about our great country." He then showed a clip of Harry telling the audience at the UN, "This has been a painful year and a painful decade. We're living through a pandemic that continues to ravage communities in every corner of the globe. Climate change wreaking havoc on our planet, with the most vulnerable suffering most of all? The few, weaponizing lies and disinformation at the expense of the many." The Duke of Sussex continued, "And from the horrific war in Ukraine to the rolling back of constitutional rights here in the United States, we are witnessing a global assault on democracy and freedom, the cause of Mandela's life." Mr. Hannity furiously condemned the remarks, which were seen as a veiled attack on the Supreme Court returning abortion-related authority to state governments via Dobbs v. Jackson. He said, "Save us the lectures." Those condescending remarks drew widespread mockery for Harry's complete and total disconnect from reality. Harry and Meghan are the same people who say they wanted privacy. So why all the hatred and disdain for the country he is choosing to move to after rejecting royal life in the UK? Why all the animosity and hatred for someone who lives such a privileged life? I'm sick and tired of this putrid woke lecturing from Harry and Meghan. Mr. Hannity joked that he would pay for a private jet to send them back to the UK. Other conservative voices, including several politicians, also criticized the Duke. Columnist Eddie Zipperer tweeted, "If you owe everything you have in life to the title of nobility that was bestowed on you at birth, you should feel free not to lecture anyone about democracy and freedom." UFC fighter Tim Kennedy ridiculed the fact that a prince from the British royal family is telling Americans that they should be disarmed. The Duke of Sussex, who was accompanied by Meghan Markle, launched a thinly veiled attack on the Supreme Court's Roe v. Wade ruling last month that handed abortion rights back to individual states. The 37-year-old claimed it was part of a global assault on democracy and freedom, as he also cited Russia's brutal invasion of Ukraine among problems facing the world. The comments, heard by a mostly empty room at the United Nations for Nelson Mandela Day on Monday morning, were the latest broadside at U.S. politicians. It comes after his wife Meghan described how the Duke had a guttural reaction to the Supreme Court's bombshell overturning of Roe v. Wade last month. Protesters also stood outside of the UN General Assembly in New York, with one holding up a sign which said, "Why are they here?" McCain said, "Today was a missed opportunity to keep the focus on one of the truly great global leaders of all time, Nelson Mandela. The speech should have been entirely a tribute to this man. But Prince Harry can't help himself. He has to get in his virtue signaling. He wants you to know that he thinks America is a mess and he is judging it from his lectern. He's not offering solutions of any kind, mind you, just making a speech and getting back on his private jet to return to his mansion in California." Representative Jason Smith, of Missouri, said, "Once again, Harry and Meghan show how incredibly out of depth they are when it comes to American politics. Fortunately for the American people, elected officials and judges decide matters of law in the United States, not the United Nations, and certainly not foreign celebrities. The last thing America needs is someone with the title Prince to lecture us on democracy and constitutional protections. There are better ways for Harry and Meghan to remain relevant than using their royal titles to opine on and try to influence U.S. politics." Meghan and Harry arrived hand in hand ahead of his speech to delegates on climate change and poverty during the 2-hour meeting at the UN. It marks the first time the couple have been seen in public since jetting to the United Kingdom to celebrate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee last month, where they kept a low profile. Despite the event meant to be in celebration of Nelson Mandela Day, the prince launched an attack on American politics during his keynote speech.